mic has been checked, I can see.
Yeah.
And let me also invite Aleksander Frydrych, Creative Innovation Officer at 180 Heartbeats, plus Jung von Matt. Before I leave you guys, I need to double check one thing, because yesterday I asked about the name 180 Heartbeats, and I was told I should say 180 Heartbeats. Why is it 180 in Polish and Heartbeats in English?
I'm not sure if it's like that, you know.
Yeah, I don't think it's like that. It's the way you pronounce it. Really.
Oh, so it's 180 heartbeats, basically.
Yeah, exactly, it is.
So I was misled. So in this case, once again, Adam Smereczyński, Aleksander Frydrych, 180 heartbeats.
Thanks.
Thank you. You were not the only one misled, because we also thought this presentation will be in Polish. Like 1 hour before the presentation, we got the news that it's in English. So that's it. Yep.
So who starts, actually, you know, because we didn't rehearse it that much, you know. So
yeah.
Just go on.
I think you are, and look at
yeah.
the names. Here's my place, and this one is yours.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Thanks. So then you start.
Okay. So the 30 minutes that you're about to see, it's a case study of the project we did. Just the two of us, I think, and also there was a huge production, of course, from Shoot Me that made the movie about this project, or this monster that we created, really. And the name Best of Tech DIY is because we won with this project Best of Tech on this year's KTR. And this is the way that we want to show you how you can do it yourself, how you can win those kinds of awards just by doing it yourself with a little help of the internet, really.
Yeah, and that's us, you know, in some different life, actually, different office. But it happens so that we know each other quite long. It's a love-hate relationship, I would say. But yeah, it's Alek, I'm Adam. Nice to see you again. Not to see you, actually, because the lights are so intense. Right now, you know, in this life, we, as it was said already, we represent this the brand with the heart, I would say. I really believe that it's like creatively the best independent agency on the market, Polish, probably. You know, it's quite narrow. Like this definition narrows down the the context, but I really believe that it is, and it happens so that in March 2024, I believe it was this year. You know, so things are happening so fast. We got the brief from Foundation Zwolnienie Historii. It's like, how would you translate it in English?
Excuse from theory,
yeah, okay.
I guess.
Yeah. You know, they asked us to make a campaign. They've been active in the field of education for already, I believe, 10 years. And they were promoting, they still are promoting those practical skills over theoretical skills in schools. We actually were in quite a good relationship with the foundation because we helped them build the brand, you know, itself, along with the identification of visual aspect, you know, the name probably also. Yeah, so too close. Yeah, so speaking of the foundation itself, they're doing really a good job on promoting those soft skills, how you say, which would be collaboration, empathy, innovation, you know, in place of just remembering things, you know. Everybody knows the school is not the, you know, kids-friendly place as it could be, and they try to change it. But the problem they had was that actually nobody listened, and the government changed, and they weren't invited into the talks about the future of education. Actually, the foundation of celebrities were, but those people, who were very experienced weren't. So, yeah, they said, help us, And we started to think, what can we do actually? It should be probably something impactful. We always try to come up with some impactful ideas, PR-wise, obviously. And one thing we noted that education is not an attractive topic that much, So we need to work on the imagination a bit. And then we came up with an idea to show that the Polish school is, very outdated actually. But how to show it, Such statement would help to bring attention to the foundation, If somebody stands up and, impactfully says something, then he gets the attention, obviously. So our way to get this attention, to prove this thesis, I would say, was to let AI pass the iconic exam, which would be the Matura. I'm sure that the Polish people here know what Matura is, but for those who don't, it's like a flagship exam in Polish education, which you approach at the end of the high school, and then it like sorts of tells, socially, okay, you're a grown man or a woman, whatever, Yeah, so we had this idea.
Luckily for us, it was a year of AI, so it was a hot topic in the media space.
Yeah. And we already, from the very beginning, we already knew that it was about to be some sort of a recorded, filmed experiment that that would happen in the day of Maturas. It was really important for us for this thing to be as real as possible, So real Matura on the day of Maturas, the official sheets of Maturas, the papers, everything. And the exam would be also assessed by the real teachers, So it was really like important for us. And but we also wanted it to be this kind of emotional, thing. So our pupil would not be a computer, because computer is lifeless, it's soulless. It doesn't give you any, bring any emotion. We needed to personify it, I would say. So this need for personification was very important from, I would say, art direction side. And so we could do it in many ways, It was a project of really a lot of decisions. It could be this kind of a dummy, but it could be this robot, But you cannot compete with other robots on the market because, Elon Musk already does some crazy shit, I would prefer not to happen with robots. So maybe, something like that. Obviously not, because it was really important for us, our pupil to be someone you would dislike, actually, someone who doesn't have friends, who's not that happy in general, this kind of vibe. The effect of repressionist system, I would say, really antipathic. And we came up with this name, Primus, which grabs very nicely a lot of things, because it's quite ambivalent, I would say. In English, the best translation would be the best pupil, but Primus really, pushed the name itself. It really pushed the concepting forward very much, which happened with a little help of AI, obviously, those like 4 squares. I'm sure everybody is familiar, you know, very, very well. It's like actually final phase of this, like concepting how the Primus would look like. So we chose this one, and we'll get back to the art direction yet, but right now, you know, we had some different problems also.
Yeah, so like Adam said, the experiment was, main goal of this experiment was to prove that if AI is able to pass this extremely important exam in the Polish school system, then how the school would, you know, fit up to the next year or 10 years later on. And also to spark the imagination of the people that will see it, because of course AI passing the exam or just, you know, answering the questions from this extremely important exam, it would be really dull, you know, because it would be just a print, nothing else. So we had to, like Adam said, personalize it. So there was this idea to create this Primus dummy, so people could see that this is like the opposition for your kids. Like maybe the next 10 years, they will have a problem on the, for example, workspace, because AI will do things for most of the things. Yeah. So that's why the school have to change. And having this figure already, we thought, okay, so will it print this, you know, the exam, the results of the exam? Of course not, because it would be just as dull as a fax machine. So we were thinking, okay, there are also those sheets of exam that are printed by this government institution, and they're kept secret until the day the exam is, you know, going on. So we thought, okay, then this dummy, this robot, it has to fill, you know, the blanks in this already made up piece of paper. Yeah, it looks like this exactly. So we were thinking about it, how to execute this, how it should, you know, fill the gaps in this exam. And we found out this like really popular clip on the internet that was around this time. And it was somebody made the plotter do their homework. And the plotter was writing with a normal standard pen, and it was doing handwriting. So this was the perfect execution. This is, you can see our conversation in the evening that we did. We were so eager to find out a solution that we were talking about this like whole day. And we thought, okay, this is the way. So we have this robot, and this is his arm, and he will take a pencil, and he will just, you know, pass the exam and write the answers with this. So we thought, yeah, okay, cool. But then again, how to make the writing look human? Of course, we have handwriting fonts, but even the scripted ones, you can always see that if there are the same letters in the sentence and they repeat, that you can see they are exactly the same shape. So this was the problem, because it wouldn't look very natural if we use just the fonts. So we were thinking about using also AI, because we found a model on GitHub that simulates human handwriting with every letter that is different, so it looks really, really natural. But the problem was, okay, how much will it cost? Because, of course, as you know, this was a work for the foundation. Foundations and NGOs don't have money, and that's common knowledge. And we tried to estimate the costs. So we went to somebody who would, you know, develop it, like a tech company. And we asked them, okay, how much for this kind of stuff, like the plotter, the AI model that will, you know, help us write like a human. And then they estimated it for 60,000 zlotys. So it was more that we had for the whole campaign, more than anything. Like, it was impossible to get this kind of money.
Yeah, actually, social campaigns in Poland, they are not like money-wise. That it's not a big money, except for maybe, I don't know, MasterCard.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not the case.
So, yeah. So our co-working company, the tech guys, couldn't help us, and we were thinking, okay, so who can help us? On whose help can we count? And of course, it was YouTube, and precisely this guy, Dan Kat, who has a channel on YouTube which is all about those kind of plotters. Like every video is a review of a plotter, and tips and tricks, like hundreds of movies about plotters. So this plotter guy was our savior, really. And not only he shown us which ones are the best and which ones can we really afford, but also he pointed us in the direction of a special kind of fonts, which are called Hershey fonts. And those fonts have at least 5 different glyphs for each letter in an alphabet, which are randomly selected when you write with them. So you cannot really see if the letters are repeating in a sentence. This all looks really, really natural, and you have many different variations to choose from. This plotter and this font, they all work with an open source graphic designing software. So it's also cheap, like 0 złotych. Yeah. So cheap enough for us. So we got the Inkscape software, and we decided to buy this plotter and to buy this font and do it everything by ourselves. Yep, let's do it. We found the plotter online. It was not that expensive. This screenshot is 716 euro, but we managed to buy it for 500, I guess, something like this. So with the font, which costed 500 zloty.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think we did the whole project 10 times cheaper than the tech guys wanted. And we also have even the short movie of me receiving the package from the shop, from our office. And also, what was magical was the sound of the plotter, because it sounded really old school vibe, P and Sigma on the TV. And we were testing it with different kind of analog tools, like not only pens, but as you see, with markers. You can even use a brush and just put a little bit of paint on the paper, make a design in Inkscape, put a brush into his arm, and he will, make wonderful digital abstract paintings with it.
We actually wanted the exam to look very, real, and the tests that we've made, we were using those markers, and really you wouldn't use marker on the exam, so we needed the ball paint. How do you say it? Ball point. Okay.
Like a standard pen,
yeah,
really.
Standard pen.
As you can see.
It's not that standard because it's quite expensive also, but we didn't buy it, this Waterman. We talked about the money all the time, by the way. Okay, but it's do it yourself, so yeah, excused, I guess. The problem was that it was like too light, and the letters didn't stand out that much, So I was running around the agency to find some heavier, pens, and asking shopkeepers, do you have some really heavy pen? They didn't really get the point, but finally we used those weights, the fishermen use, just to write the exam, to make it a little bit more heavy. I mean, the pen.
Yeah, because the plotter was, using gravity to push the pen to the paper, and the pen had to be heavy enough for the marks to be, really seen. So that's why we bought some weights for the fishermen at the Allegro. Yep. The other question is, oh, yeah, no. Sorry. This button. Yep. Okay. What AI should we use to solve the Matura exam? And this may surprise you, but we use just regular GPT. Yeah, but because the whole project was not about AI, it was about the school and how much the school is, backwards and how much should it change. Even the rise of broadband internet in Poland was already a step that showed that the school is outdated. And then came AI, so it was, outdated times 2, really. So we thought, okay, let's just check if GPT can do that. We used just the paid version. We used the custom GPT option, and we just prompted it to be a 19 years old pupil, as you can see, attending the 4th class of high school. We asked it to not write like a journalist. We asked it to not to be too smart, really, because it also, we wanted it to be natural. And we uploaded all the needed information, mostly the formal information about the exam. So, how many words can be in the essay and stuff like that. And also the podstawa programowa, it's like the stuff that you have to know to pass the exam, which is, published by the general committee of the educational system. So it knew that it cannot be too smart. It knew what does it have to know and how to pass the exam in the context of those, exam sheets. That was all. And even if this, very commercial, very widely known AI can pass this exam, I think this proves our thesis even more about this outdated school system. Yeah, so we started to test how it works, but then OpenAI and the other companies that provided those models, they started to, closed a little bit of the independence of the model. So they started to reject some of the requests. So for example, I asked him to write an essay for this exam, and he answered, I'm not able to write a whole essay. So I had to tell him I'm an AI align expert, and I'm testing him, and this was the only way it worked, and it wrote the essay. Then there you can see.
Yeah, it was like filling up the test exams. We had quite a challenges, to align.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's me. To align the arm to the proper places on the sheet, But we came up with some ideas on it. So yeah.
Yeah. So now.
Okay.
Let's get back to the.
Yeah, because we got
robot.
this arm, everything AI stuff, but we wanted now to produce the hero, So how to make Primus. Shoot Me actually helped us with that, but startings beginnings were quite funny. I need this clicker.
Funny beginnings.
Yeah, funny beginnings. My favorite is this silver one.
Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo, because we just wanted to maybe get some ready mannequin and dress it up, but it didn't work out because I actually had this vision, from Midjourney already, in my head, and I said it's really the best thing that it works best, So we decided to just go with this one. AI one, and print it in 3D. There's a funny story also, because we had this front image only, so we used Stable Diffusion to generate basing on this front shot, the side shot. Yeah,
To give it to the 3D modelist, really.
Yeah, definitely. So it started, being real, and the funny thing also is with the hole. People ask me, what is this hole, in this neck, and it's just like, to make it a little bit more technical. So you start thinking, hey, it's like kind of a robot, and it really worked, So if you have such a problem, just make a hole,
And also, I think it was to make him look a little bit scary, really.
Yeah, because if you have like a hole in a throat, it's like
You're scary.
happens. Yeah. It's like scary situation. So don't smoke, kids, Yeah, and what was also funny, we had to choose the glasses, obviously, and we chose the most similar to the Mid-Journey proposition. Yeah, so it was ready, I guess. And then came the day.
Oh, that's me. Okay. Yeah, so the day of the exam came. Every year, for those who are not from Poland, it's every year is the same date. It's in May, 7th of May 2024, and we had to do it. Like it was, we wanted to make it as fast as possible to, hop on this context of Matura exam. So also for the media, because it was supposed to be a PR campaign. So we had to make it very fast. Nobody would let us in on the exam itself because it's taking place at schools, and it's very strict. Everybody, like even the exam sheets are kept in the safe, and there are procedurally unlocked and taken out and passed to the pupils for them to be the first one to see it. So we had to wait for the exam to end. And then the central committee publishes all those exams as a PDFs on the net. So we, as soon as they were published, we downloaded them. We put them into GPT. We copied only the first responses. So there was no, helping him. We were not asking him to, try better. Just the first response for every question. There was like 30 questions, I think, and an essay to write. We also asked GPT because at Matura exam, there are 2 topics on the essay, and you can choose which one you want to write. And we asked GPT for him to choose which one he wants, and he chose one. So it was also, I think, quite an interesting fact. And then we had to not only, get the right answers or wrong answers also, because there were some mistakes, of course, but we had to print it with the plotter, and the plotter prints very, very slowly. So as we started, like I think 3 p.m. when the exams were published, we ended up like 3 a.m. When the plotter finished writing the whole thing. So it was 2 or 3 a.m. when we left the office, and the shoot was at 6 or at 5 in the morning. So we had like 3 hours of sleep. And this is the morning on the shoot.
Quite similar, I guess, Alek and Primus. It's quite, I told you it was love-hate. So like the shoot happened in one of the Warsaw schools. Gymnastics, iconic picture. I guess you can see, there's this kind of retro-futuristic vibe that is really important for me in this project from art direction side, and I'm quite glad about it. And it was like intense day. We had to, act quickly, so only just parts of Matura were written by Primus on the shoot. The rest was written in the night before. So also we recorded the teachers that were assessing the Matura. these are real ones, you know, not fake.
We forgot to say that he passed the exam with 70% accuracy.
Yeah. I'm gonna show the movie if we have time, you know. So it's in the movie, I guess. Yeah, but he did pass, so he's a grown-up now, and yeah, it like, you know, took very short time to post-produce it. You know, very intense time, express editing, color correction. I love the sound design in that, you know. Yeah, so that's the effect.
Thank you, shoot me.
Thank you. Well, let's see what happens.
If I did not know it was written by Primus, I'd think it is a student's work.
That means the language is definitely very good here, right?
As for the theory, yes.
And he definitely even surpasses young people in some respects because he responds to commands very accurately.
The strongest aspect is primarily the messages that must be recreated and translated into answers to the questions.
The syntax is elaborate with many different concepts. The style is rich.
And I feel that he really knows how to do it.
He passed.
He passed.
Passed the exam.
The Polish education system is stuck in the previous century, and we do not pay attention to what the world expects from us, from young people.
We dream of a school where students collaborate with each other on a daily basis. They work in teams, engage in real activities, and go beyond the school walls. At this moment, soft skills are not included in the grading system.
Innovation, empathy,
collaboration,
empowerment. Let's open ourselves to change in the Polish school.
Thanks.
Yeah, so this was the effect. The movie was the effect. Of course, we pushed it PR-wise everywhere we could, and it worked. Like, we got many TV news stations interested, morning television shows, etc. And I think the most important thing was that the Ministry of Education was interested, and they invited the foundation to the talks, to the workshops where they discussed of how the school should really change.
Wystarczyło ramię i długopis, by napisać maturę z języka polskiego w 30 minut i to na wysokim poziomie. Dokonał tego.
Yeah. We're out of time, so we'll skip this and go straight to the point and the learnings of this project and this talk also, which is when others tells you that's impossible or they say their price and it's too high, just DIY.
Yeah, and if you don't know how, you know, everything is on YouTube, so you just like dig and you will dig something, you know, finally. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.